Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem of Korea Republic, followed by the national anthem of the United States. The referee for tonight's match is Janessa Gunn, assisted by Brooke Mayo, Kaylee Langevin. The fourth official is Becky Pagan.
The USA is set to open its account in the U-20 NTC Invitational against the Korea Republic. Mark Serber alongside former Pepperdine standout Jen Carson. And Jen, with the Korea Republic, England, and Brazil, you could not ask for a better dress rehearsal going into November's World Cup.
Yeah, Mark, it's a great tune-up for each one of these teams that are a part of this tournament, but especially for the U.S. They're here on home soil. It's a little bit of a windy night, but for both of these teams here tonight, there's no better test. It's a good chance for them to work with each other, for certain girls to step up, and to really just tune up for that World Cup.
Well, the U.S. getting set for the World Cup, which kicks off for them on November 14th against France in Group C. Also have the likes of New Zealand and Ghana. For Korea Republic, they have a very tough task. Start with Mexico on November 14th as well, Venezuela and Germany. But this is a Korea Republic side that head coach Jung Sung-shun said in the last World Cup they went out on penalties just like the U.S. in the quarterfinals. He said, I saw the potential of Korean football, and this is the year we're going to show it to the world.
It's one of the worst ways you could go out, whether you know the game or not. It leaves a bitter taste in your mouth even years later. So this team, this is a great tune-up for them to get ready, to really test themselves and to redeem themselves, because you don't forget that, even if you weren't a part of the team. And so for them, you know, this is a stingy Korea Republic team in terms of giving up goals. So the U.S. have a test tonight in that as well. It's going to be hard for them to get forward, and they really need to build that part of their game up and continue working on that as well.
And for both of these teams, 3 games in the space of 6 days. Okay, you have a little more time in a World Cup, but this really replicates a group stage.
It definitely does. I mean, you have to really be focused. Both coaches have mentioned that this is a good opportunity for both teams to really focus on where they're placing their time, what they're eating, how they're focusing, how they're, mentally attacking in a tournament like this.
Well, the red, white, and blue, in red, white, and blue. Korea Republic in all red, and it will be the Stars and Stripes to kick off. They'll be attacking to the right across whatever device you may be watching on. Thank you for joining us here on U.S. Soccer's the USA, getting set to kick off match number 2 on match day 1 of the U-20 Women's NTC Invitational. And it's Jesse Scarpa over the ball. 11 caps and 5 goals, all of them coming in the victorious CONCACAF championships for the U.S., including a hat trick in the group stages against Panama.
She's someone that definitely Korea Republic are going to have to look out for tonight.
Referee Janessa Gunn gets us underway, and it's Emily Ogle to attack for the U.S. Officially 3-1-1 in 2016, the U.S., and that included victories at the La Manga tournament in Spain over the England and Norwegian U-23 sides.
You could already see it's going to be a little bit of a scrappy match here tonight. Within the first minute already, a tough physical battle, nothing too dirty, but still Korea Republic showing that, hey, we're here to play.
The U.S. looking to build out of the back. This is Elliston. Gets it out wide, but a bit too far for Hedge.
It's a tough thing having the night game, having the 7 p.m. kickoff. You have all day to kind of prepare for this, to mentally tap in, and so you're going to see some women getting the jitters out a little bit early.
Ogle wins it back for the U.S. Played out wide by Real. Was a non-playing member of the 2014 World Cup squad that lost in quarterfinals on penalties to DPR Korea. Cousins gets her first touch of the night, and it's a good one. Out wide to Hedge, who loses out.
And so far, the U.S. is just being forced to play back a lot. They're being pressured a lot by this Korea Republic team. Mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they are very disciplined, and they are going to be stingy when it comes to giving up goals. So the U.S. have to be strategic in how they go forward and not giving the ball away too much.
Korea hits the reset button in the second minute. Meng looking over the top. And the cross in is played out for Cousins. Stabs it along to Hedge.
It's a good job by the U.S. of it being able to deal with a situation where you have a cross coming in, you have to clear it out, you have to make sure that you're not clearing it back to the feet of Korea Republic. They do a good job of getting it organized and now just playing around the back, but they need to be aware of this really quick, speedy Korea Republic team.
This is a Korea Republic team that Michelle French told us they like to get the ball to their outside backs and try and find, as you said, their speedy forwards up top right away.
She did mention that she knows that this U.S. team is strong and aggressive, and they have a lot of that raw talent, but she said, we have some strengths too. We have some strengths that we don't really want to talk to you about, but we have things up our sleeves too that we're going to really put to the test in this match against the U.S.
It's a U.S. side that's been here training since September 1st. We'll be together all the way through to the end of the tournament. We'll then have another training camp in October in Florida where they'll play 2 matches against Venezuela before heading to their pre-tournament camp in Australia. And then it's on to Papua New Guinea, where they will play in their first matches in the World Cup. And the good thing for the U.S. is they've already been to Papua New Guinea. At the end of May, they went and played against Japan, had a 10-0 win against the host. So a chance to see and work out the logistics and any kinks there may be beforehand.
It's always nice to go to a place that you've already been before, so there's no real surprises.
And the ball's laid off for Hedge in the channel. It's a good tackle. Hedge able to maintain possession for the U.S. Has Elliston in support. Korea usher it out of bounds, and they'll have the throw-in.
It's a good job by Hedge using her footwork, but she just didn't have an outlet to go to. She got stuck in that corner, and then there was a little bit of miscommunication.
And it's off of Elliston last, so Korea will continue to sneak up the near side. So that's a good look at Han Chae-rin. One of just 5 players on this roster who didn't feature for Korea Republic at the AFC U-19 championships last year, in which Korea Republic finished 3rd in order to stake their place at November's World Cup. Five games for Korea at that AFC championship in China. 20 goals for, just 2 goals against. And they dispatched the host in the 3rd place game to take that final World Cup spot.
It's definitely a confidence booster when you're able to do that. You know that you're only growing as a team, you're growing as a squad. That chemistry automatically gets built up, and you know that coming back next game, next match, the next year, that you're only going to be even better because you've made that foundation.
Well, this is a good move from the U.S. Cousins has a chance to slip it in. It's Hedge plays to the back post, and perhaps you might want to see her be a bit more selfish there.
And that was beautiful ball movement. I actually love the through ball in, and it just, at the end of the day, it wasn't put even on frame. You got to be able to finish those within it, 8 yards of the goal. But that was the best soccer that we've seen the U.S. display so far. They moved the ball well. They actually got it into the middle of the field, which we haven't seen them do yet. We know that's one of their strengths, but then just not able to finish. Good job by Korea Republic coming out goalkeeper, making it tough for the U.S. to really finish.
And Kim Min-jung turned 20 on Monday, and right after practice, the entire team seeked her out and dumped an ice bucket over her head. And then in the middle of my conversation with head coach Jang Sung-chung, he just all of a sudden got up, sprinted over to her, and dumped a bottle of water on her head. So nice way to ring in your 20th birthday.
You don't get cake for your birthday. You get water dumped on your head. Either works. Looks like it is taking both sides a little bit of time to really find their groove, to be able to know how this game is going to operate, to feel each other out. And that's normal in a match. You need the first 10 minutes or so, only the 7th minute now, and we've already seen a quality look at goal across for Korea Republic. So it's definitely had its interesting moments so far.
Scarpa is trying to chase it down on the far side, but it's sent the other way, and the U.S. will retrieve in the 7th minute. It is still early days here, but Taylor Otto looks to be doing such a good job of building the attack out of the back.
And that's definitely what you want to see for this U.S. team. You need to be able to play out of the back and know how to really get it into your midfielders and be able to communicate with them when they can turn, when they can swing the ball out wide. And that happened in the one quality chance the U.S. had. If they could keep doing that, if they could keep getting that midfield involved and really spreading the field, it could be a very successful night for this U.S. team.
Kim Min-jung flights it forward. And it's just too far ahead of Song. It'll go out for a U.S. throw-in. Michelle French, defender in her playing days with 14 caps for the U.S. And this is Elliston, one of 5 players on this NTC roster for the U.S. who plays her college ball with Penn State, who were the champions last season.
Elliston doing a good job of showing, they're still young women, but showing her maturity and knowing not to play it to the side of the field where there was pressure.
Ogle overtakes, but referee Janessa Gunn brings it back for a foul behind the play.
It's the first foul against the U.S. Not a bad foul to give up. But again, the first time this U.S. team is going to be tested when it comes to a set piece, and they'll play short.
This is Park for the Korea Republic. And it's a strong run from Ko, but the shot trickles just wide of the near post, and it will be a goal kick for Casey Murphy, winning her 9th cap for the U.S.
Good bit of skill there, too, offensively, really getting yourself in a moment to put yourself in a scoring opportunity, but at the end of the day, not enough juice on that strike and isn't really able to test the goal at all.
Canales went up for it, but the header won by Korea Republic.
And there's another look at the strike. Just doesn't have enough on it, not able to test Murphy at all in that instance. And you can guarantee, though, that you're going to see more looks similar to that throughout the night. Again, still getting those jitters out just under 10 minutes in.
Otto bring it forward for the U.S. And this is real. Slides it for a center back partner. And that ball asking just a bit too much of Scarpa. But Kim Min-jung electing to keep it on the ground. Scarpa's not going to be baited into it, though. Now she'll have to come.
It's a little bit early to be seeing, that kind of style of play, but at the same time, a very deep punt there. So maybe a strategic way to bait the U.S. out of position.
You know, one thing Michelle French told us before this tournament that they've been working really hard on compacting their lines, their defensive communications. Still less than 10 minutes gone here, but how do you like the way that U.S. is setting up defensively?
Well, you could see them all moving at the same exact time. Whenever the ball comes to the left side of the field, they're all moving at the same time in a way that's making it tough for the Korea Republic to find those funnels, to find the areas of the field that they could really be wide open. And the U.S. is doing a good job of being compact and doing that. They know that when the ball does come to a certain side of the field, to compress it, to get in that triangular type shape, to force Korea Republic into a mistake.
Ogle for the Stars and Stripes. Scarpa checks in. And Cousins helps to win it back. Hedge. Cousins, who played that through ball, which opened up the space for Hedge.
You know, one of the things French telling her players, just check your shoulders, meaning know where you're at on the field. If somebody is right behind you, then yeah, play it back. But if nobody is, you have the space to turn up the field. And that's exactly what she's trying to instruct Hedge to do in that instance, instead of playing back into pressure.
French looking on as the U.S. continue to move it around the back. Now looking to make inroads. Little touch out wide. This is a good run. And just nobody in that pocket of space, and Korea will overtake. One back by Cousins. Selected to the SEC all-freshman team last season at Tennessee. And this is Otto, the All-American, looking for options. Slides it inside to Cousins. Trying to weave her way through, but she's dispossessed. Hedge did a great job to jump in and win it back for the U.S.
It's a good moment for the U.S. to realize that it is time to switch the point of the field, and Jean does a good job there, keeping it.
Hey, Maddie's on here, find her.
You are going to see a little bit more of those wide defensive players for the U.S. really getting up and attacking. That's one strength that the U.S. team has, is that they have the mobility and the physical attributes to really get up the field and help out with their, not only the midfield line, but also the attacking line as well.
This is Korea through Meng Dae-hee. Ha leaves it back for her. Hong. And there's that ball looking for the forwards right away, but it's ushered away from Kim. And the U.S. look to go the other way as we enter into the 14th minute of play.
It's a good job by the U.S. again, being able to deal with an instance where Korea Republic are doing a good job of getting upfield and putting a dangerous cross into the middle of the pitch, but U.S. able to deal with it, just play it back nice and simple. The defensive line isn't getting stressed out and just kicking it upfield. They're keeping possession of the ball, and now they're just nice and easily swinging it around the back and waiting for that moment to find the center of the field, and there they are doing it right there.
Well, Han played it right to Scarpa. Has it tipped away from her. A good pressure from Kelsey Hedge in the U.S. to keep it in that area. Will be a Korea throw-in.
It's a good battle there by Scarpa to really put pressure on, but she does need to keep that touch a little bit closer to her so that it doesn't get back to the feet of Korea Republic.
Maddie Elliston, another one of the PSU contingent, comes up to take the throw-in. And it's won by Scarpa. The cross is blocked, and Scarpa will shield it out. Wrong side of the corner flag from a U.S. perspective, but they maintain possession deep in the Korea Republic's end.
Scarpa's one of those big bodies that she could handle a little bit of the jersey tug. She can stay on her feet and get low and really deal with that kind of physical pressure. She does a good job there of helping the U.S. earn its first corner of the night.
Well, it will be a corner kick. I apologize. And it's going to be Cousins to take an outswinger from the near side. 6 players crashing the box for the Stars and Stripes. Near post flicked on, but up and over the crossbar, so it'll be a goal kick for Korea Republic.
It was a good ball in by Cousins. Initially, it looked like it was going to be too shallow, but it ends up coming, right in the perfect area to get a volley on it, but just a little bit too high and not really testing the goalkeeper at all in that moment.
Well, from that area, instead of trying to get it goalwards, would you like to see that just helped on across further into the mix?
Perhaps, but I think in that moment, the right idea is to get it volleyed in. It just needs a little bit more pace on it, but it was a good corner.
This is Jung taking off for South Korea. One back by Ellie Jean. And Ogle keeps possession for the U.S., guiding it back to Otto. Near side, Elliston looking to push the pace. Cousins. Scarpa checks in.
Definitely a foul by Cousins. You can tell that she's one of those scrappy players. She's like a gnat. She likes to just really apply the pressure to this Korea Republic team, and you love to see that out of your midfielders, especially your center midfielders. But we haven't seen her involved too much in the action here tonight. I'm sure if you're head coach French for this U.S. squad, you want to see her get more involved. Here it is again, a little bit of a, she knows that she got by her. She knows it's a foul, but it's okay. It's an okay part of the field to be giving up that free kick.
Well, exciting times for both these squads. The U.S. looking to win their 4th U-20 World Cup. The Korea Republic heading to their 4th consecutive World Cup after finishing 3rd in 2010 and quarterfinalist in the last 2 editions. Korea will also host the U-17 men's tournament in 2017.
It's a good job by Korea Republic. They're finally getting that push forward, and they're connecting. They're making the most of it. And in that instance, you have the momentum going your way, and you just don't want to give it up and give it out of bounds. So if you are Korea Republic right now, you want to keep it locked in. You don't want to let the U.S. out of their third of the field.
It was played behind Hasu Glee. So the U.S. gets it back, and they work it to Jean on the far side. Canales almost latched onto it, but Korea keep it.
We've seen a few slide tackle moments here by this Korea side, and none of them have been dirty at all. They've been very strategic. They've won the ball each time that they've done it, and it's nice to see that kind of play because they are being aggressive. They are really putting themselves in an area to win the ball, and they've been successful in it so far.
Long ball was looking for Chong, but she left the starting gates too soon. Assistant referee Callie Langevin on the far side, putting her flag up. Zhang, along with Hong Hae-ji, both played for the Korean senior team in 2 friendlies in June against Myanmar. So players at the U-20 level already seeing experience with the senior side.
It's hugely helpful for any one of these squads that are out here. When you get that kind of experience, it can't be matched. It really does help you confidence-wise, even if you're not on the field, even if you're not getting a number of minutes. It does help you to be in that atmosphere and to see what it takes to play at that level, because the speed of play definitely increases.
Ko bursting down the middle. Gets it right back. Korea Republic starting to grow into the game a bit. Hong. And one back by Canales.
Mark, and it might be one of those matches tonight where one of these goals from either side is scored off of a counterattack, just a pass that's maybe tried to go backwards to your defense and it's picked off. So both these teams, you have a very patient U.S. side when it comes to defensively working the ball around the back, but you still have to be incredibly disciplined so you don't give up anything stupid.
Well, we saw in the first game for England against Brazil, the Brazilian center defender Diane just lost concentration, let the ball roll across her, and Mailing for England nicked in to win the game.
Those are moments that, they call them mental mistakes sometimes, but they hurt. And there's something that you could grow from in that moment, because, in an instance like that, with soccer being the sport that it is, it comes down to moments like that. You have to be on your game the whole entire time, 90 minutes plus.
In the 20th minute at the National Training Center in Carson, California, 0-0 between the USA and Korea Republic. Both teams moving the ball around well, but both defenses standing firm in their final 18. Hasug Lee tries to get it down the line, but Han runs out of real estate.
And it looks like Korea Republic are actually trying to speed things up a little bit. They could probably take the stance of the U.S. a little bit more so they don't give up plays like that where they're passing out of bounds. You could just kind of settle in and really keep the ball, because when you are playing a U.S. side like this, possession is key.
Park. Played in between the center backs, but Murphy comes to the extreme of her penalty area to quell the danger.
Murphy is an experienced goalkeeper, a 9th cap tonight. She knows to be exactly where she was there. If she's any further back, that's an incredibly dangerous opportunity for Korea Republic, and possibly even a one-on-one with Murphy.
Are you starting to see a threat in the likes of Kim and Jong stealing in between the center backs on those long balls?
Definitely, and I mean, again, the U.S. is doing a good job of being disciplined and just whipping the ball around the back, but at the same time, you don't want to be too laid back. You don't want to be too composed, because this Korea Republic side is posing a threat in that area of the game.
Great job by Scarpa to come over and win the ball for the U.S. Pulls it into an interesting position. Canales just couldn't direct her header goalwards.
Beautiful cross in by Scarpa, but just the whip of the head just doesn't work out. And you want to keep producing those kind of opportunities if you're this U.S. team. And that should be just the start of many. You see Scarpa whip around her defender, and as the header comes in, she's in the right stance. It just comes off her head the wrong way, and it ends up not being a dangerous opportunity.
Goal kick for Kim Min-jong. Jean guides it back to her keeper. Full moon in Carson.
A little bit of a windy night, a little chilly out there. I'm sure not for the girls that are playing, as their adrenaline is going and they got the sweat going and everything. But again, playing these 7 p.m. matches, it takes a little bit more than those 4 p.m. kickoffs.
Taylor Otto. Maddie Elliston. Slides it through for Scarpa. First touch into the channel and bought down the challenge from Mang. And the referee points the way of Korea Republic. Scarpa's befuddled and bemused. And we heard a couple of whats from the bench as well.
It's a beautiful ball in to Scarpa, and what happens is she ends up realizing that she is going to get contact. She lowers her shoulder, and before the ball is even there, she's putting her shoulder into her defender, and I think that's what the referee is seeing.
So Korea will build out of the back as the wind picks up in Carson. Mark Serber alongside Jen Carson. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on ussoccer.com, as there's that through ball for Scarpa. And Jen, I think you're right.
Yeah, Scarpa just digs her shoulder in a little bit. She knows she's going to get that contact, but the referee's going to say no. We see what you're doing there.
Good distribution from Casey Murphy to Kelsey Hedge. This is Taylor Otto, 18-year-old assessing her options. When we take a look at these groups for the USA and Korea Republic, and for the U.S., I think get their first match out of the way will be their toughest match against France before taking on New Zealand and Ghana. For Korea Republic, Jen, we'll get back to that in a second, as here's an attack building up for the U.S. And Korea step in to win it back. For the Korea Republic, they play Mexico and Venezuela before taking on the reigning champions Germany. 6 points in their first 2 games. They might not have to worry about that match.
There's a number of tough matches. Even the games that you look at on the schedule and you think, okay, this could be a win. That's the first mistake that you could make, no matter what squad you are. You need to look at every single team that you're playing against and know that it's going to be a battle, because, again, you mentioned it earlier in the match that kicked off before this. It's those little mistakes that could kill you, so you never want to overestimate an opponent. Or underestimate, I should say.
U.S. will recycle their runs in the 25th minute. Otto stepping into the attack. Now she'll leave it off for Ogle. Well worked by Fox. Leaves it off on the overlap. It's another cross comes in, but Kim Min-jung had it covered.
Yeah, no real threat there as that ball's just lobbed into the middle of the box. But again, you want to keep producing those opportunities if you're this U.S. team. And we mentioned earlier that defensively they're doing a great job, the U.S., in moving together, but offensively you're seeing a little bit of the same motion, so you need to see more of those coming to runs from their center midfielders, from those attacking forwards to really penetrate this Korea team offensively.
Good look at Jung Song-jeon. He's the head coach since 2012. Player in his own right with Daewon Citizens from 1997 to 2002 in the K-League. Watching his side, looking to mount an attack. Ko helps it out wide. Han. And a great job by Kelsey Hedge to come over in the double team. And the ball perfectly placed down the line, forcing Meng to hit it out before Scarpa could latch onto it.
Yeah, that ball had a little bit of spin on it. It looked like it was going to be out of bounds, but just curls its way inside. If Scarpa maybe, instead of reacting, kind of anticipates that happening, it was an odd ball, but maybe that's an opportunity for the U.S. to get forward and make something out of it.
Otto. In for Ogle. Cousins. Nowhere to go for Elliston, so she'll look back to Otto. And tried to slide that one through for Ogle, was able to get it the second time of asking.
And those are those little mistakes that we were talking about earlier with Otto trying to find the middle of the field, but ultimately that could have ended up bad for the U.S. You don't want to see turnovers like that, especially in the middle of the pitch, and they're only at the halfway line.
Elliston lobs it into the path of Scarpa. Continuing to battle Scarpa and forces Ha to put it out of bounds.
And it looks like Scarpa's already anticipating getting that physical pressure onto her. She takes a spill there, but she does have that physical presence. If she can just post up like she is doing here right now, it's going to be helpful for this U.S. team if she can keep the ball.
Top of the box for Cousins. Puts it in the melting pot, and the header directed wide.
Great ball in by Cousins to get it to the back post, that curling left-footed swing, but again, the U.S. unable to really put a head on it and test this goalkeeper.
It was Emily Fox who was in the vicinity.
There it is, that ball gets swung in. Good job of getting your head on the ball. It's in the right place. You're at the right place, but still U.S. looking to get one on frame.
I think it was good defending by Yoon, too, just to put her off at the last moment.
Yeah, even if you can't get up for that header, too, when you're in the box, you want to be able to put some sort of physical presence there to test these U.S. forwards.
Meng Da-hee. And intercepted by Jean.
Now, Jean's somebody who we haven't seen a ton of tonight, but when she has gotten the ball on the left side of the field, she has a way of coming in, and that has been helpful for the U.S. because it throws off Korea Republic's defense when she's able to do that. They need to utilize her more.
Han looking to run against Ellison. Takes the inside route. And rather played it behind her intended target, and the U.S. can break. Ogle jumps into the attack. But Mallory Canales smartly holds onto the ball.
And you could see a little bit of the tenacity, that fiery pace by Han that poses a threat for this U.S. defense because they are used to, you see them playing around the back. They are confident in themselves. But when you have somebody speedy like that coming at you, you got to be careful and you got to really be collectively ready for when that happens. And for the U.S., once they were able to intercept it and get it back, they slowed the pace down a bit. So what happens when you do get that ball going forward at pace as Korea has done?
Canales wins the free kick on the far side. So the U.S. with a chance to get numbers forward, as it looks like Maddie Elliston is going to come all the way across to take this. Now she's told to just hold up.
And here it is again, a little bit of a foul there, and this is a dangerous opportunity here for the U.S. to make something of this free kick. They've got the height advantage.
Canales helps it on, but Korea repel it. Only as far as Ogle. Sprayed out wide, but behind Kelsey Hedge. And the Republic has a throw-in on the half hour.
And for Ogle, ball comes to her feet. She needs to be able to settle that ball down and get it back into the danger area when Korea Republic aren't ready for it. So the U.S. not really making the most of that free kick opportunity.
The U.S. going to their bench early as Sabrina Flores is going to check in. Be interesting to see who she comes in for.
I think it's probably a good move by French. It's a chilly night. You need to see a little bit, something different for this U.S. team when it comes to their offensive attack. So you have to wonder if offensively they're going to be doing something different to stir things up a bit.
And Sabrina Flores is going to replace Mallory Canales. So French going to her bench early as Flores comes in. Canales at the last U-20 NTC in June played along the back line, but she's been playing midfield for Notre Dame.
And she's going to move Fox up into more of a center attacking role. She's going to go more into the midfield, and I think that's what maybe French is seeing is that, yes, while we are swinging the ball around the back nicely, we're not really getting that center midfielder to check to the ball and get us past the midfield line. So maybe this substitute can help in doing that.
Brought down by Park. And that ball too far for Kim. So the U.S. have 5 substitutions left as there's 6 subs allowed at the NTC Invitational.
Yeah, plenty of subs. You have to wonder how these different teams are going to be using their bench, how many subs they're going to be making, because, again, like we've talked about, this is a tune-up to the World Cup, and so you don't necessarily want to be playing everybody, but at the same time, these are the games to get those players those minutes, to get those players that experience.
Fox turn, gets it out wide. Ogle. Hedge.
That's another moment that French was talking about earlier is in a moment like that for Hedge, she needs to be able to turn and see her shoulders and know that there's nobody around her. She could turn quickly on a dime and get the U.S. going forward instead of pushing them back. The first look should be forward or maybe even parallel instead of back.
Ogle with a loose touch. Park overtakes for the Korea Republic. Park skips past the challenge of Ogle. Meng. Out wide for Ha. Hedge keeps a watchful eye on her. And Ha will go back to Meng. Hong threads it out wide. Was a nice turn on the far side. Tremendous defending, though, from Ellie Jean. But it's at the expense of the first corner kick of the game for the Taeguk girls.
It's a good job by U.S. defense getting back by Jean, putting a foot in there, but that is the kind of attacking that you want to see if you're Korea Republic. They're using their speed, they're using their quick feet to make the U.S. make a move here, and now they get their first corner of the match.
Be an in-swinger from the far side. It's going to be taken by Zhang. Good trajectory on this ball. And the U.S. win the first ball and take care of the second one as well. Only as far as Ha. Pumps it back in. And Murphy, awkward for her, and it's off the woodwork. And the question is, did she get a touch? Referee says yes, second corner kick for Korea Republic.
It definitely did appear as though Murphy had to palm it backward. You see her as she's backpedaling. She looks to see where she's at in the goal and notices that, yeah, she does have to palm that over her head.
So the second corner kick from Zhang, and Murphy is a boss in her area.
And if you're Korea Republic in that moment, that's the last place that you want to put a lofting ball, is to the tallest person out there. You've got a goalkeeper who has range, she has experience, and in those instances, she's just going to come out easily and grab it. So especially with a shorter team like Korea Republic, you want to start more with that first corner kick that they had that was dangerous.
Ogle intercepts. Cousins has space. Slides it out wide for Fox. Fox waiting for the overlap. And Cousins tried to help it on for Maddie Elliston, who is continuing her run to the Korea Republic. Get it clear. Only as far as Ogle, who wins it back for the U.S.
The U.S. again exemplifying great possession, but I think they just need to get on the same page offensively. If Cousins makes a great run, checks to the ball, gets it out wide, but that run by Fox just isn't there. Fox isn't on the same page as her. So if they could get that chemistry going together, they're definitely going to create more opportunities.
What do you make so far of Ogle's decision-making in that number 6 role as to when to push the envelope and when to play simple passes back to her defense?
I think you definitely have to know when you're in that role of when those moments are, and that comes with experience. That comes with knowing your teammates, what they can handle, and most of all, it comes with communication. So she's done a good job of that tonight, of really knowing where she's at on the field and also where her teammates are at.
Sent toward the far post, but nothing to concern Murphy. This is Zhang, who continues to pull the strings for the Korea Republic attack.
I believe we've just had one shot on goal. It was the one that was tipped over. It ended up in a corner kick. Here's that corner kick again, another look at it. And luckily for the U.S., it's put back at their feet and they're able to get it out. But definitely a nervy moment if you're in one of those black jerseys tonight.
Han. Kim gets it back to Ha. A good double team from Fox and Hedge. And Fox wins it back. But then Hedge, with a heavy touch, gifts it back to the Korea Republic. Ha guides it back to her keeper. And Korea will look to build down the other side.
The U.S. doing a good job on this side of the pitch of closing down defensively. We talked about that earlier, of closing the space and pressuring Korea Republic. But you can tell the differences in the style of play of how fast this Korea Republic team plays when they do get the ball. They want to go forward. They want to go at you. They want to go on the dribble. As opposed to the U.S., they're a little bit more build it up, wait for that right moment, wait for that perfect checking run. And so it's interesting to see the two squads face off against each other, two very different styles of play.
Han with the header. Cousins pushes it forward for the U.S. And Scarpa tried to play it into the path of Emily Fox, but too far and out of bounds for a Korea Republic throw-in, who have their entire bench warming up at the corner flag.
Yeah, a lot of teams collegiately, internationally, like to do that, where they get the whole bench warming up and get them warm just in case. Even if you're not going to go in, it's good to get them going.
Elliston intervenes. Early cross from Elliston. And Cousins running across the face of the defender, almost got her head on it.
It's another good cross by the U.S., but again, not really able to make any production of it. Some of that has to do with the timing, and another part of it, you have to give credit to this Korea Republic defense. They are putting those bodies in the box and making it very difficult for the U.S. to get a clear volley, to get a clear shot on it, or an open header. It's just not there. So really, when that ball does come to your foot, it does come to your head, it has to be nearly perfect in order to get it into the back of the net. But for the U.S. right now, it's just they need to get one on frame.
The U.S. pressuring high here. And the ball may be 50 yards away from goal, Jen, but it was that pressure up top which allows them to win it back in midfield.
Definitely. I mean, it's super important for both these teams to win the midfield battle. That's where most games are dictated in who ends up getting the win. Is where does the midfield contribute? Are they just kind of there? Are they really making those impactful runs, putting those through balls into play? The U.S. had one early where they had a really great through ball opportunity, and so far we haven't seen a whole lot of that in the last 15 minutes or so, but you can guarantee that when this second half kicks off that both teams are going to be trying to get those midfield more involved.
Inside the final 5 minutes of first half regulation, as Ogle gets it back to Otto. Two of them continue to play catch. Ogle picks out Real. Slices into the box. Fox making her way in. Scarpa. Elliston joins the party. Flights it to the back post. Just beyond two U.S. players, crashing the back stick.
That was one of the best opportunities for this U.S. team so far. Can they get another one in here?
Set into the head of Scarpa, knocks it down, but nobody crashing in a U.S. jersey. And there's Cousins doing the dirty work on the far side.
It's a great moment there for the U.S. Beautiful cross, just lofted to the back post, just far enough for the goalkeeper to not be able to get to it. But Korea Republic, again, doing a good job defensively of just being there. It was just as simple as being there to apply the pressure to really make it difficult for the U.S. to get that ball into the back of the net.
Now it's Korea's turn to take a measured approach. But that ball from Mang too far in front of Ha, and the U.S. gifted a throw-in. Mang Da-hee out of Ulsan College. Jong Song-jo has seen his side put on the back foot in the last few minutes. Can the U.S. grab the opening goal before halftime?
And if you're Korea Republic, as this match, this first half comes to a close, you have to wonder how they're going to get involved offensively more regularly. The few times that they have had looks, they have been dangerous, but it's just not happening enough. And if you're the U.S. team, same thing in terms of making the most of the opportunities that they're getting.
That ball sent out of bounds by Sabrina Flores, the substitute. Plays with her twin sister, Monica Flores, at Notre Dame, but she elected to play for Mexico, featured for their U-20s in June's NTC, and then made her first senior appearance later this year.
So incredibly rare that you hear a story like that, let alone, two sisters, twins playing at this level, and then to be doing it the way that they are, it's pretty incredible.
Jean on the far side gets it back to Real. It's the Penn State teammates linking up. Scarpa has two Korean defenders for company, but also has help in Maddie Elliston. Heading toward the final minute of first half regulation. U.S. looking for space down the far side, but the Korean defense suffocating.
That's Jean again, trying to get involved on that far side. She's leaving the U.S. defensive row just with three in the back, which is fine if you're French. If you're the head coach for this U.S. team, you want to see that out of Jean. You want to see her get more involved and create opportunities on the far side of the field for this U.S. team.
Cousins slides it out wide. Pulled back just behind Scarpa.
Beautiful placement to be crossing the ball right there at the top of the box, but just nobody there for the U.S. And what a dangerous opportunity it would have been if somebody would have just changed their run in that instance, or somebody would have been there.
Cousins skips by one, steps into it, and almost picked out the far corner.
Definitely one of the most dangerous opportunities so far. First strike we've seen of Cousins, but still the U.S. unable to get one of those strikes on frame. But for Cousins, you want to see her continuing to do that. It's a wonderful strike. You see her get the ball laid back to her. She gets it away from pressure, puts it on her right boot, but just isn't able to put it on frame. But if you're this U.S. team, you want to continue to create those type of chances, and you want to get that young woman more involved in this match.
That will do it for the first 45 minutes. What were your thoughts on the opening exchanges?
I think both teams have figured the other one out a little bit. So if you're Korea Republic, you want to again make more opportunities, and for the U.S., they need to finish their opportunities and maybe not be so patient in the back.
Well, at halftime, it's the USA 0, Korea Republic 0. 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go, and we'll have it for you on ussoccer.com in 15 short minutes. Good, how are you doing? Nice move from Song, and she wins the free kick for Korea Republic. One substitution to tell you about at halftime, as Julie Doyle has come in for Emily Fox.
And this is a dangerous area of the field for the U.S. to give up a free kick, especially, you have the opportunity here for the Korea Republic to either have an in-swinger or an out-swinger. They've got both options here on the ball, so the U.S. needs to get the ball out.
Zhang will swing it in. 7 players queued up across the top of the box for Korea Republic. It's flighted to the back post, bypasses everyone, and will go out of bounds for a goal kick.
The U.S. kind of lucks out of that one because that just swung right into the sweet spot of the back post, right past a number of U.S. defenders, and Korea Republic just unable to get ahead on it. A lot of, similarly to what we saw in the first half with the U.S.
Casey Murphy plays it short. Jean. Real swings it to her center back partner, Otto. Far side, Elliston gets it back to Otto. Lovely first touch from Jean. Clips it over to Doyle. San Diego Surf player getting to the end line, and she wins the throw-in for the Stars and Stripes.
And if you're Korea Republic, no real need to slide talk on that moment. Just shield it out of bounds. Now U.S. still get to have possession of the ball deep in Korea Republic's third.
Doyle sends it across, but not before the ball crossed over the end line. So it'll be a goal kick for Korea Republic.
That was a lovely touch, though, by Jean. You saw her ball in the air. She takes that positive touch forward and puts the defense of Korea Republic in a chance where all they can do is foul her at that point because she's made the best move that she can. The touch is a little bit heavy to get U.S. forward even more so, but again, that'll come as they shake off the jitters of the second half.
Zhang. Real steps in. And Real able to get it off to Jean. Wins the throw-in for the U.S.
A little bit of miscommunication there by the U.S. defense. It could have ended up poorly for them, but Jean able to get it back for them and get the throw in.
Scarpa dispossessed. Yoon. Song. Gets it inside for Kim. No substitutions as of yet for Korea Republic. Michelle French has already hit the switch on 2 for the Stars and Stripes.
You've heard and seen a little bit, we have anyway, Michelle French directing her players from the sideline. She's a very patient coach. She's not the type to really yell at her players, but she knows how to instruct them and help them to get forward and to really be comfortable.
Song getting forward and winning the second corner kick of the game for Korea Republic.
And this is where we saw Korea Republic dangerous in the first half. The latter half of the first half was in with a corner kick. The second corner kick opportunity that they had after that was just lofted into the box, so they need to make the most out of this one.
Well, it's another good ball in from Zhang, but the U.S. able to deal with it. And what a strike that is! But Murphy equal to the task. Zhang has space to put it back in, and this time Murphy punches.
Murphy just getting tested again and again. Those are the two best quality chances that this Korea Republic side has had, and they've come early in this second half.
Now the U.S. get a bit of relief with the goal kick, but tremendous save by Murphy as she had to have seen that late.
Here's another look at that corner. Ball is put not in too dangerous of an area, but it gets put back in an opportunity for a tremendous strike. You have to see the quality of that strike, and at the end of the day, Murphy does a good job of punching it out.
Korea the recipients of the loose ball. Space to take. but the shot nothing to trouble Murphy in the end.
Those are those turnovers, Mark, that we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, that those moments, you can't turn the ball over in the middle of the pitch. You're going to have a Korea Republic side that's going to be just jamming the ball back down your throat, coming at you at speed. And so this U.S. side needs to be careful in how they deal with the ball.
Jean. Sabrina Flores. Tried to get at the far side for Ogle, but Ha gets there first. Meng Da-hee for the Korea Republic. Ko. And Yoon gets it back to Hong. Over to Meng. Everybody on the back line getting a touch for the Taeguk girls.
Now we're seeing Korea Republic being a little bit more patient in the back as well, taking a little bit more of that U.S. approach when it comes to swinging the ball around that defensive line.
Yoon closed down by Doyle. Ko gets it off to Park. Korea Republic now has everybody but the center backs in the U.S.'s half, and the U.S. have a chance to counter here.
U.S. again, very patient team when it comes to going forward. They want to wait for that right moment, that right opportunity. But again, Cousins needs to get involved in this midfield, and now U.S. trying to get involved here.
Ogle slides it through for Doyle. Gets her defender, but coming out to quell the danger is Kim Min-jung.
Just a little bit too heavy of a touch there by the U.S. Could have been a dangerous opportunity, though, and I'm sure one that they'd like to have back.
Well, Julie Doyle, along with Shea Moyer and Parker Goins, were 3 U18 players bought into this U20 camp to gain experience, but the likes of Doyle have worked their way into the lineup.
It is interesting to see these young players really be put to the test and to play up. And there's another look at that ball that's put in, and it just is off the kneecap, it looked like. And it puts the ball in a moment for Korea Republic goalkeeper to just come out and easily scoop it up.
This one looking for Jung, and just getting her head on it was the center back for the U.S. Real doing just enough, but it's the expense of the 4th corner kick of the game for Korea Republic.
And for Real, it looked like from here it might have been an own goal. In a way, it didn't appear as though maybe she was heading the ball back to Murphy. But now, again, this is the area of the field that Korea Republic are most dangerous on these set-piece opportunities.
Backside.
Outswinger from the far side. Well, it hung up there, but Korea win the first ball and the second, and the shot is charged down. Yoon. Meng plays it over, but too far, and Murphy will take.
It has been a little bit of a chess match here tonight between these two sides. Both have had a few opportunities. Looks like a little bit of the turf monster there, but here's another look at that corner. Gets swung in, gets put right about 25 yards out, and such a quality strike. And here again, looking at Korea Republic's opportunities here, Murphy has come up big with a few punches, and it's been a good thing for this U.S. team that they've been able to keep Korea Republic out of the back of the net. But they have to be careful moving forward that they limit those chances for this Korea Republic side.
Slip through. Jean tracks it down on the far side, plays it in. Top of the box, Cousin scuffed her shot.
And it looked like that was going to be another one of those firecracker strikes from Cousins. We saw that she's has that gun of a leg earlier, at the end of the first half. And so she's definitely somebody who can rip a shot from 20, 25 yards out. If she has the opportunity, why not take it? And now another good look here for the U.S. to really put this one on frame and create something of this set piece opportunity.
It's going to be Sabrina Flores to take the corner. The Korea Republic able to clear their lines, and Elliston will track it down. Cousins. Doyle working against Yoon. Slides it inside, and it's a heavy touch from Kelsey Hedge. But it goes off the Korea Republic last. Third corner kick of the game for the U.S.
And it's another heavy touch there for the U.S., but you have to love the fact that they're calling for the ball. They're noticing the space in front of them, and if that ball isn't called out, the side of the field isn't switched, and the U.S. isn't put in this opportunity that they are here. They need to continue to do that.
And this time it's played short. Doyle can't sweep it by her defender. Elliston did a great job not to allow Kim to turn. We're going to have the first substitutions of the game for the Korea Republic. Well, it's going to be a double one at that. As Kang Chae-rin and Namgung Yeji are getting set to come in. Kang Chae-rin is one of 3 players on this roster who played at the U-17 NTC for Korea Republic in February.
It'll be interesting to see how this Korea Republic team gets into the game, gets more involved with these substitutions. How do they, you see that one of them is an offensive substitution on that left side of the field, maybe trying to use that flank a little bit more and get more of those crosses in for this side.
And look out for the number 7, Namgung Yeji, as she had 3 goals at the U19 AFC Championships. Bit too short for Doyle. Yoon steps in. Song overtakes. Slides it inside. Chong has space, unloads. Always tailing away from that upper corner.
Another quality shot, though, for Korea Republic. A similar rip to that of Cousins in the first half for the U.S. And that is one of those moments. It was given away, a sloppy hospital ball, and it puts Korea Republic in an opportunity to score. And so for the U.S., as tactical as they've been, as much possession as they've had, they need to be careful in areas of the field like that and not letting simple passes get turned into moments like these where you have a quality attacker rip a shot like that.
And it seems like all of Korea's opportunities have come from shots about 10 yards behind the 18-yard line.
They definitely have that weapon in their arsenal that they can shoot from that far out, and quality shots at that. And it's a little bit of the same thing that the U.S. is struggling with, is they still need to be able to put the ball in frame. They've had a couple of good chances against Murphy. She had to come out and punch a few of them, but still nothing tremendously difficult for either of these goalkeepers.
Keeper well off her line to get it clear from Kelsey Hedge. Cousins wins the free kick for the USA.
Love the scrappiness by Cousins. She's just a fighter. She battles it out. She knows that she's coming into a 50-50 ball. She doesn't shy away from it. She's able to keep spinning with it. She knows she's going to get hit and get the contact, but she keeps on going. And this puts the U.S. in a good area of the field for this set piece.
It's Maddie Elliston who's over it. Elliston dinks it in. The USA win the second ball. Oh, goal! And the chance could still be on here for the U.S. just over the crossbar from Taylor Otto.
Best moment of this match for the U.S. Quality chances at goal. You had somebody following up, but just launched it over the bar. And that was the shot on frame that we've been begging for all night. As long as you get it on frame, you're giving your team a chance, and it's a great follow-up by the U.S. Here's another look at it. It comes into the box. It's headed away by Korea Republic. They're not able to clear the line completely. Great volley, great goalkeeping save, and then it just launched over the bar. You see her leaning back a bit, and it just skyrockets over.
Hong rolls it out wide for Song. Into the middle for Ko. Korea making the U.S. work side to side.
Korea Republic doing a great job of really moving the ball around right now, and they're doing it quickly too. If they can continue to do that, keep possession, they are going to be dangerous. They are going to pose a threat against this U.S. team.
And the space opens up, but the shot is at Murphy.
And we've seen now, Mark, several times that is the threat that they have. They like to move the ball around quickly and get the U.S. out of their usual defensive shape. And then when they get the chance, just even a yard to take a rip at goal, they're going to do it. So the U.S. need to expect that. And luckily for Murphy, the 9th cap of her U.S. career here, she's able to notice that. But here's another look at the rip. It's a good shot. Murphy isn't tested too much, but again, you can tell that out of the first half, they're doing a good job of getting more involved.
And Julia Doyle all smiles as that's the second time she's fallen over today. And French on the bench having a laugh as well.
Yeah, you have to remember they are still kids. They're training to be professionals, and they are representing their country at the international level. But they're still 19, 18-year-olds who still want to have fun.
Well, they say if you can't smile, you shouldn't be playing the game.
Leaving the match, number 6, Taylor Otto.
As well, this happened. Natalie Jacobs checked in for Taylor Otto. And you know Otto wants that chance back right at the corner edge of the 6. But a great shift put in by Taylor Otto at center back this evening, Jen.
This defense definitely quality and only getting better.
So Natalie Jacobs comes on for her 14th cap at the U-20 level. But Korea are on the charge. And good defending by Maddie Elliston.
There's another example of that quick pacing attack that this Korea Republic side has, and the U.S. doing a good job of trying to get it out of pressure, but really dangerous against this U.S. team. One of the things, just looking at Korea Republic's coaching staff during the half, couldn't understand what they were saying, but I could tell that he was trying to tell them to move off the ball better, to open their hips to the field, to not be so closed off, and to really just continue to move off the ball, and that's where they can be purposeful.
Scarpa slides it through for Hedge, just beaten to it, but she wins the throw-in for the U.S., as it was Hong who made a vital intervention.
And a throw in a dangerous part of the field at that, if you have somebody who can throw the ball long, or even just somebody crafty over there on that far side of the field, the U.S. can try to get across her corner out of this.
So Elliston takes the throw-in. First order of business is to keep it, and she does just that. Unparried across, Hedge brings it down, but cleared away before she could get a shot off.
And Scarpa doing a great job of getting that ball right back into the mixer, but the U.S. again not able to really do anything with it, but it's the right idea for this U.S. squad.
Doyle doing a good job to chase, forcing the clearance. And the referee waves play on. Ogle steps in to win it back.
And that's that physical presence of the U.S. It looked as though she was going to get by Ogle, but Ogle just uses her body to shield her off of it, and that's one of the reasons why this U.S. team, even at this young level, is so good.
Hedge. Doyle poked away from her, but another throw-in for the U.S. deep in Korea Republic's territory.
And this is a moment where the U.S. needs to be able to produce. They need to be able to do something with this throw and not just necessarily work backwards, but really get a crosser corner out of it.
It's not a bad cross, but the defender was well positioned. And out of all the players going to ground, that's the foul that's called.
It is an interesting call. Not exactly sure what the ref saw. We'll look at it again here. A header attempted to get cleared out. Looked like maybe a 50-50 ball here, and Korea Republic just goes down to the floor, and for whatever reason, it looks like still looking at how that play had developed. Not able to see the tail end of it, but both teams, you can tell out of half, are producing more opportunities. They're getting more looks at goal, and you could tell that the pressure has been amped up a little bit from that a little bit more poised first half that we saw.
We talked about the movement off the ball for Korea Republic. Are you seeing any other adjustments from them?
You know, it seems like they're still sticking to their style of play, which works well for them. I think that they just need to be able, like you see right there, they need to be able to possess the ball once they get it, because the U.S. has had the majority of the possession here tonight.
Scarpa kills it instantly and puts it through. And once again, Kim Min-jong is well off her line to quell the danger.
It's such a beautiful turn, too, by Scarpa. She just gives too much weight on the ball, and that could have been the moment of the match there for this U.S. squad if she's just able to wait that one out a little bit better, put a little bit more feel on it. But at the end of the day, not a true challenge for this Korea Republic side.
Jean finds Doyle. Just too far in front of Hedge. Chong gives it back to the U.S. Doyle into the pocket of space for Cousins. And the cross comes in from Jean. Jean seizes the loose ball, but it's off of her last throw into the Korea Republic.
Jean, we spoke about her earlier in the broadcast. If she's somebody who can continue to get involved in this U.S. attack, not just defensively, but attacking-wise, the U.S. is going to get more and more threats going forward if they can continue to get her involved.
Hint of a handball, perhaps, and the referee spots it.
Not a bad call by the referee. Definitely did hit a little bit of hand there, and so now an opportunity for Korea Republic to regroup. Here's another look as that did grace a U.S. hand, but not much you can do about that if you're Ogle.
Both sides still looking for the breakthrough in the 69th minute. USA starting to impose themselves here in the second half. Just looking for that killer touch.
This might be one of those matches that for either side comes down to a counterattacking moment where somebody gives it up and the other side is able to capitalize on it.
Jean ventures forward.
French encouraging Jean to get at her, meaning just dribble at her at pace, make her have to defend you. And Jean, one of the players on this U.S. squad who's able to do just that. She's shown the craftiness, she's shown the speed, the physical attributes to be able to do that. And again, she does need to continue to get more involved in that area of this U.S. attack.
Park gets it back to Hong. Korea Republic look like they're preparing another double substitution. Park continues on here. Throws it to the far side. Ko. Hedge wins it back. Jean looking to kickstart the attack for the U.S.
There is just 20 minutes left, and you wonder if either of these teams are going to do something a little bit more risky, a little bit more dangerous to try to get forward, or are they comfortable with a 0-0 tie at this point?
Jacobs plays it out wide. Elliston ran into a slew of red jerseys, and they look to break the other way. Flashed over to the near side for Song.
It's a good switch of the field by Korea Republic, but Jean not really tested. She's got that athletic ability to kind of keep up with this attack of Korea Republic.
Yoon shaping up to cross, and Jean got a foot in. And they're going to say she stepped over the end line before she put that ball back in. So it'll be a goal kick for the U.S., and here comes the double substitution for the Korea Republic.
I think if you're in a tournament like this, you think, why not? Let's get some more bodies out there. Let's mix it up. Let's try different roles out to see who works well together, who maybe doesn't work as well together, and what positions work. And another look at that cross, that one just going behind the net. No true test for Murphy, but Jean having it pretty well covered. You do want to try to get those crosses, those corners out of your area if you're this U.S. squad.
And now Julie Doyle is down.
And it looks like the U.S. might be forced to make a substitution here, but an opportunity for both sides to regroup, reorganize, and kind of hit the reset button.
Well, both teams go into their respective benches as Jen Sharon comes out to check on Julie Doyle. Even Casey Murphy coming all the way to the sideline.
Leaving the match, number 6.
What do the U.S. need to do to go on and get this victory inside these final 20 minutes?
I think they just, again, need to be more dangerous going forward. They need to take a little bit more risks. They need to get Jean more involved. They need to be a little bit more tenacious when it comes to that attacking third.
Well, the good news is that Doyle is up and walking under her own power. And the USA break out of their own huddle as both teams get a chance to catch their breath as we head into the final 17 minutes.
You're getting Michelle French's words prior to the match. She did say that this is a tournament where we don't necessarily want to get more bodies that are injured. And so this is definitely one that's it leaves a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth, but it looks as though she's okay and that she will be able to re-enter the match, which is a good sign for this U.S. squad because you don't want to see anybody else hurt in any way, any strains, tears, anything of that nature. So good sign here for the U.S.
Coming up next for the USA is England on Friday night at 7 Pacific. And before that, this Korea Republic side will face off against Brazil at 4, and both of those matches can be seen right here on U.S. Soccer. Earlier today, England beating Brazil on an 89th minute goal by Sarah Mailing.
Yeah, whenever you get beat, and the way that they did that late in the match, it'll teach you a lesson.
Doyle, lovely ball, slid out wide. Jean gets in the cross, but doesn't beat the defender at the near post.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier with getting Jean involved. She's able to put that cross in for the U.S. She gets another one there. It just falls to the feet of the U.S.
Laid back off for Hedge at the top of the box. Has it poked away from her. Ellison steps in, flights it to the back post, and just missing it was Sabrina Flores, the substitute, so close to opening the scoring in the 75th minute.
Flores doing a great job of reading where that ball was going to end up. She does a good job working off of the ball and really putting herself in the right place. It just wasn't there. Maybe a hair off, but great movement there by the U.S. They were patient. Takes a touch right there, gets a good little cross dinked in, and just inches away from getting that ball on frame.
It's promising for the U.S. So we're into the final 15 minutes of regulation. And Parker Goins getting to check in. The rating Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year.
It is interesting to see. You have these different women that are playing at different colleges. They're, some of them might not even be at that level yet, and they're all having to come together and be teammates and work together and create that chemistry. And sometimes it's a very short amount of time that they have to be able to do it.
And here is that change. As Goins is going to come in for Jessie Scarpa. But an excellent job tonight by Scarpa through 76 minutes.
She did have a couple of great looks at goal. She had a moment where she was played in. She had a great through ball inside. She's been dangerous and really has shown her physical attributes to put pressure on this Korea Republic side. So you have to wonder how this substitution will change things for the U.S. Can they stir it up more offensively? Can they get some offensive production in these final 14 minutes? Because knowing this U.S. squad, they don't want to just settle for that 0-0 draw.
Parker Goins, just 17 years of age, already an All-American. Looking to see if she can turn the tide of this match for the U.S.
Yeah, 17 years old and an All-American, that's not a bad resume.
Jean pings it into the feet of Doyle. Lovely improvisation from her. Was looking for the return ball. And Kelsey Hedge almost provided it.
It's a good bit of craft from the U.S. Can they do something with it, though? Can they continue to get forward? Here's Cousins. We haven't seen her in quite some time. And again, just not on the same page with her forwards and trying to have the right idea. But those two need to be on the same page when playing that through ball.
What can the Korea Republic do to make themselves more dangerous?
Yeah, I think that they need to stick to their strengths. They're so good at dribbling at this U.S. back line. When they get the ball, they need to be able to continue to do that. Keep striking those balls from 20, 18 yards out. No matter where you're at on the pitch, they need to continue to test this tough defensive back line of the U.S.
Jean?
They also need to be smart, defensively too, and make sure they don't give up a goal, because the U.S. side is still knocking at the door, and as much as you want to go forward and score, you also need to be careful defensively.
Yoon. Park. Just trying to guide it through. Ogle. And Sabrina Flores just unable to chase it down on the far side.
Just a little bit too much on it, but you could hear French from the sideline saying, stretch them, stretch them. She's telling them to make this field as big as you possibly can. Get your heels to the end line and really stretch out this Korea Republic defense.
Korea Republic going forward in the 80th minute. Yoon. The space is on for the cross. Flicked into the center. Murphy with quick reactions.
It's a great save by Murphy, although it is right to her. She has to react so quickly to grab that ball, and for the U.S. defense maybe falling asleep at the wheel a little bit there, as Korea Republic were able to really spread their attack. You see their attack coming inside, then they're able to ping it out right wide here, get the cross off, and the U.S. just isn't ready for it. It's well flicked on there, and thankfully for the U.S., Murphy's there to defend it.
Doyle. Goins floats it out wide. And Ogle tried to get it back out to Elliston. Sabrina Flores intercepts. Still going Flores. And Ogle tidies up. Space for Song.
It's a great, you might not even notice it, but Jean is positioning her body to force Korea Republic out wide right. And in that, they're still trying to go down the middle. And because of that, the U.S. is able to intercept it and now get this counterattacking opportunity.
Doyle wanted to shoot, but that was too easily telegraphed. Cousins bulldozes her way through, but doesn't get proper contact.
It's a similar play that we saw from Cousins earlier in the match where she wasn't afraid to pop the ball over her defender, use her body to get around her defender, and just not enough steam on the shot. But you have to love the creativity and the fact that she was essentially volleying it to herself.
Offside flag is up against Namgang.
And that could have been the opportunity there for Korea Republic. There was plenty of space. The gap was wide open. If it's not offside, maybe just a hair or two offside. The U.S. is in real trouble there, as Murphy would have likely been put in a one-on-one situation because of how fast these attackers are for Korea Republic.
Flores rides the challenge. Lays it off into space for Hedge. Puts it into the danger area, but too close to the keeper.
It's great movement there by the U.S. attack, but Hedge needs to be able to ping that ball back to the 6, a little bit further out away from the goalkeeper of Korea Republic in order to really make a dangerous opportunity out of that cross.
Cousins overtakes on the loose touch. Left off for Natalie Jacobs. Elliston gets it out wide, gets it right back. Shea Moyer getting set to check in for the U.S. Has to wait till the next stoppage of play. Ellie Jean continues forward and show too much of it to the defender. Flores steps in for the U.S. Jean fizzes it across. Left off at the top of the box and cleared away before Cousins could get on the end of it.
A handball there for the U.S. This is an opportunity now for Korea Republic to take advantage. A couple substitutions will slow them down.
Song's race is run in the 83rd minute. And checking in for her is Kwon Do-hee. One of 7 players on this Korea Republic squad from Korea University. Meanwhile, Kelsey Hedge will come off for Shea Moyer, the 17-year-old who plays for FC Revolution.
It's definitely a benefit for this Korea Republic side that they do have so many young women who play together at the university level. You don't really have that for this U.S. squad. They have to come in together for these camps, for these trainings, how rarely they happen. And so for Korea Republic, it actually is to their advantage that they get to play together when they're not just at the international level.
Korea Republic will have one more training camp in October before heading over to Papua New Guinea. And Real had the inside track on Namgang, who's whistled for the foul. Been really impressed with Kaylee Real and the defensive starting position she's taken up tonight to win balls like this.
You could see her put her body just right in front of her, and it's definitely a foul. It's a good call by the referee. U.S. has done a good job of being able to get down low on a shorter squad in the Korea Republic. Most of the time when you are playing against a team like that, they actually have the advantage because they're lower to the ground and they can move you off a ball. But the U.S. has done a good job of physically being in this game and not being tactically pushed off of any balls.
Kwon Great recovery by Moyer.
You have to love that, especially with somebody just coming into the match that, you've been sitting on that bench for the last however many minutes. It's been a long time. To have to come into a game where it's cold out, it's windy, and you haven't done more than just stretch and run a little bit on the sideline for you to come in and get a slide tackle in like that. Those little things shift the momentum of this match.
Inside the final 5 minutes of the 90. Getting her first touch is Lee So-hee. So-hee has it poked away from her. And Ogle regains possession for the U.S. Jean. Floor is shaped up out wide, but the U.S. will keep it across the back.
U.S. still being extremely patient in the back. No true rush to go forward at this point, even as we close out this 90 minutes. They do need to be able to pick that moment, though, to go forward.
Yoon Sun-young got her first senior appearance against Myanmar in June. Ellie Jean. Kaylee Reel. Elliston. Clips it into the path of Cousins. Cousins has a bit of space and wins the corner kick for the U.S.
It's such a brilliant ball into Cousins. The weight of the pass, a little bit of a chip inside. You could even hear the oohs and ahs from the sideline. It's perfectly weighted to the feet of Cousins, and Cousins does a good job of getting something out of it. That's all you can ask for of your U.S. squad is you want to get a cross or corner out of that opportunity, and Cousins does just that.
Can the U.S. pinch a goal from the set piece in the 88th minute? Outswinger from the far side. Has a good trajectory on it. Korea get their heads there first. Moyer's shot. The keeper punches it away at her near post.
And Moyer making a difference in this match. We mentioned it already. She just checked in already, has had the slide tackle, a little bit of momentum shifter, and puts a quality shot on goal as well. Here's another look at that corner. Nice ball in. Korea Republic does a good job of getting it out, but it just falls to the U.S. And again, a great strike there. Maybe a little bit more pace on it, and it maybe goes in.
Both keepers have done well when called upon. And Kim In-jung takes the free kick. Real. Too much weight as it goes all the way through to Kim. Another player who's with the senior squad for those friendlies against Myanmar. You know, any experience, especially even these matches, just to get each player up to speed at the international level before they head into this World Cup.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. It's a great tune-up for the World Cup, and anybody who gets minutes or even a part of the squad, no matter what your role is, you're still involved. And so these matches are incredibly important in every way, shape, or form.
Park. Namgung. Kwon Do-hee, quality ball to the back post. Just skips off the head of the Korean attacker who was arriving and just mistimed it.
If she was maybe a little bit further back and she was coming into that ball as it was crossed in, I have no doubt that that header goes in.
It was the substitute, Chae Hin-jung, who had a chance to be the hero. Final minute of the 90. That ball asking way too much of Moyer. Min-jung's reading of the game has been very impressive tonight. She's come off her line a lot, seeing those through balls ahead of time and beating the U.S. attackers to the spots.
Yeah, she maybe hasn't got enough credit for some of the saves that she's come up with. It's been a good night for her. She's kept a 0 shutout slate for this Korea Republic side, and you have to credit her for her production here tonight in between the posts.
The Korea Republic gave up just 2 goals in 5 games at the Asian Championships. The U.S. just 3 in their matches at the CONCACAF Championships. So we are into stoppage time.
The referee has added a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time.
2 minutes of stoppage time. And safety first from Hong Hae-ji, and it gives the chance for the U.S. to get forward.
And for whatever reason, it seems as though now it's added a kick in the step of the U.S. that now that we're in stoppage time, now they want to hop on their horse and get something going offensively.
Textbook defending from Hong. Namgung has a player running in front of her and a player out wide. Picks the latter option. Great save by Parker. Full stretch at her near post.
Well, that was exactly the attack that we've been talking about, Mark, that Korea Republic needed to do, stick to their style of play. Offensively, in the middle of the pitch, they're able to go on the dribble, take all that space that is offered to them because U.S.'s back line was dropped so far back, and they're able to get a quality look at goal because of it.
And another big save by Murphy. She's come up huge tonight for the U.S.
Yeah, they might not look like the craziest of saves just because Murphy's so big in goal. She's got such a stature about her that she doesn't have to necessarily dive or stretch out too far, but she has come up with those saves that some goalkeepers, they might go through their gloves or it might go out for a corner kick. And so she's done a good job at really holding onto that ball and making sure that Korea Republic are really kept out.
Can either side steal the 3 points at the death? As of now, England at the top of the NTC table with 3 points. The U.S. and Korea would go to 1, and Brazil would be at 0 heading into match day 2. Still an opportunity for the U.S. Pulled back across, and it was Hong who reacted quickest.
And again, for Korea Republic, so much space to work with when they get on the dribble. They have that pace. The U.S. defense has dropped so far off that maybe if they would have kept doing this throughout the whole match, it might be a different scoreline.
Kwon Do-hee kills it instantly. But Cousins is back to make the interception. And that will do it. 0-0 between the USA and Korea Republic. Final thoughts, Jen Carson.
Yeah, I think it's a match that both these teams are going to look at, and they'll have learned from this. I think if you're the U.S. side, you're wanting a little bit more. You're left with something that you maybe had more opportunities than Korea Republic, so you want to keep taking those opportunities, taking those chances. And if you're Korea Republic, I think it's a good result for them. But they have such a high standard. They know what they were getting into in this tournament, and they're going to come out in the next match with more fire and more determination.
Up next is match day 2 on Friday, starting with Korea Republic taking on Brazil at 4 Pacific. And then at 7, the USA back in action against England. But for now, for Jen Carson, everyone at Turbo Sports and U.S. Soccer, I'm Mark Serber saying goodnight from Carson, where it finishes the U.S. 0, Korea Republic 0.